Frozen. My Journey into the World of Cryonics, Deception, and Death by Larry Johnson with Scott Baldiga. Narrated by William DeFries. Copyright 2009 by Larry Johnson with Scott Baldiga. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Vanguard Press, a member of the Perseus Books Group, and was produced in the year 2009 by Tantor Media Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Introduction. You're about to hear a really bizarre story. I won't be able to explain all the things my colleagues at Alcor Life Extension Foundation did, or why I made all the decisions I did during the 7 months I worked there. Some of those decisions, including why I first went to work at Alcor, may seem strange to you. As you'll hear, though, I've been an adrenaline junkie most of my life, and the job as clinical director for Alcor promised to be unlike anything I'd ever done before, and never boring for me. Boy, was I right about that. At first, the idea of working at Alcor fit the bill perfectly. Although the important cryobiological research I was promised during my initial job interview never materialized, soon it didn't matter. The more I got to know my colleagues and the history of the place, the more immersed in it I became. Meanwhile, by slowly earning the trust of my eccentric coworkers, I became privy to many company secrets and was promoted to acting chief operating officer. At some point, though, when I began to realize that really dark and possibly illegal things were being done at Alcor, I decided I owed it to everyone, the frozen Alcor patients, their families, the surrounding community, even the hardcore Alcorians, sincerely hoping for another life beyond this one, to document the abuses that were going on under the roof of that strange enterprise. I observed unconscionable environmental and animal experimentation practices. My complaints about apparent OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, infractions kept falling on deaf ears. Worse, I soon began hearing persistent rumors about the suspicious, premature deaths of several Alcor members, so I began digging, and have never quit. I'd never before seen myself as a whistleblower, but that does seem to be what I've become. I began copying Alcor documents and later recording conversations with my colleagues. Ultimately, I wore a wire every single day of my last 3 months there. I had to do this, and you'll hear why. I'd never imagined myself in that role, but I respect the truth, and people who aren't afraid to speak the truth, even to the powerful. During my time at Alcor, and in the 6 years since I had to flee Scottsdale, maintaining my self-respect by finding the truth and making it widely known had become, next to my wife and family, the most important things in my life. That's why I wanted to write and publish this book. Thank you for listening to it. Larry Johnson, July 1, 2009. Prologue. My wife and I were in the living room, packing frantically, rushing to get out of town, when suddenly there was a thunderous pounding on the door. Beverly started screaming. I ran to the bedroom, grabbed my 9mm Beretta from under the bed, and rushed back to the living room. The banging was so powerful, the molding was breaking off from the wall. They were literally bashing their way in. I inched toward the door. Beverly was on the floor, crying hysterically, her hands over her ears. I put my eye to the peephole, but the door was vibrating too violently for me to see who was there. Shouts came from the other side.
"Johnson, you motherfucking traitor! We'll get you, you son of a bitch!"
I backed up, aimed my gun at the door, shaking in its hinges, and screamed,
"If you come through that door, I'll put a bullet through your head!"
I meant it. At that moment, I really believed I was going to have to kill someone.
"You traitor! We'll kill you! You too, Beverly! You will both die!"
The banging stopped. Footsteps ran down the outside stairs. Beverly was crumpled in a heap on the floor, sobbing. I stood, trembling, looking down at my wife.